Hello and welcome to Carrington as Manchester United's under-18s are back in action, this time in the under-18 Premier League Cup where they face Newcastle on the pitch behind me. United are in fine form after that 6-1 demolition over Blackburn Rovers in the league last time out, whereas Newcastle enter this game on the back of a defeat at the hands of Stoke. United have made 3 changes but still lead with top goal scorer Manny Norkett, whereas Newcastle have made 2 changes from that defeat, and it's set up to be a fantastic game of football. United started the brightest with some neat play down the left, with McAllister having United's first proper attempt on goal. A few moments later and United pounced on some confusion in Newcastle's defence, but Berry was unable to convert and fired just wide. A delightful crossfield ball from Gore opened up Newcastle, but Berry again was unable to break the deadlock from close range. Back down the other end and a fine save from Hanbury denied Parkinson against the run of play. A superb run and strength from Nolan down the left-hand side, with his run deserving a goal. Moments later, a Dan Gore cross found McAllister inside the box and United had their goal to go 1-0 up. Back down the other end, and Newcastle threatened from a corner, United just able to clear off the line and take the ball to safety. Newcastle again pressed for a goal, this time with Bailey firing just wide. Some casual play at the back for United allowed Newcastle to level just before the break, Donaldson making it 1-1. And it got even worse for United, as on the stroke of half-time Newcastle took the lead when Emerson's cross was headed home for Donaldson's second of the game to make it 2-1 at the break. Early in the second half, Berry's free kick forced a low save from Harris in the Newcastle goal to prevent United an equaliser. United again pressed for an equaliser, this time Al Joffrey unable to convert his header. Newcastle threatened for a third with some good play down the right-hand side, United able to clear their lines on this occasion. United weren't done trying to press for that goal, with Nolan denied from close range. Newcastle went down the other end though and made it 3-1 as Miley rounded Hanbury in the United goal. Nkunku should have put the game out of sight for United, but his close range effort went over the bar. Dan Gore had his effort saved as United pushed for a consolation goal. Newcastle then made it 4 when Miley finished off a low cross to end United's hope of a comeback, making it 4-1. So Travis, tough afternoon. What did you make of it?
I think it says where we're at a little bit. Should have been 3-0 up after 25-30 minutes. They've got some good players, but really dominant. And then you can see what happens to the group is when the opposition start to work us out or get a little foothold in the game, then our ability to stay in the game at that point gets a little bit chaotic. And while we're as a threat all afternoon, they certainly look like scoring, particularly on the turnover. So there's a lot to think about there, but the main thing is for us to take away is there's something not quite right when you can be 3-0 up and dominant, and we could have lost 6 or 7-1 in the end. So we'll have to go back to the drawing board about the makeup of the group, their coping strategies, what to do if they're not on top, and how do they stay in games, that sort of stuff. But yeah, listen, in the end we've got a very sort of attacking group on the pitch, and we're fatigued. So put a lot into the game, and obviously we've changed our shape, and then you're always at the mercy of the scoreline potentially going away from you as you're trying to get a goal at the other end.
Those first 25 minutes, as you said, we were in control, so you must be frustrated to know how well we can play.
Well, yeah, but listen, if you don't take your chances in any game, then you leave the door open for the opposition, and we did, and they were always going to be a threat. We know they've got some good players, but it's an eye-opener for our boys that if you don't take your chances while on top, and this will be forever and a day true of the game, and then you don't back your start up if you've not scored the goals and keep your intensity up and keep the opposition out, then the game can run away from you, and ultimately that's what it did today.
What positives can we take from that performance, maybe particularly the first 25?
Well, I think we definitely got good attacking players. and we will always cause teams problems. We know that we're quite young across the board, or lads that haven't got lots of legs to hurt the opposition. So we know that we're going to have to be quite precise in our play, and we know we're going to have to be really good out of possession. And we weren't precise enough or ruthless enough in the first bit, and then we weren't good enough out of possession for a big chunk of the game. So that's why the scoreline is what it is.
At this level, it is all about developing players. So finally, it is an opportunity now, isn't it, to take these learnings and really progress this side.
Yeah, like, listen, in games like that, you can go through every individual and go, they didn't do this, they didn't do that, and that'll be true. But you've got to be careful how strong you go with that, because the opposition's got some good players. Their strategy definitely caused us problems like we caused them problems, and they came out on top in the key moments. So we'll look at it individually and see what we need to do better, what individuals are excelling at in terms of the development plans, and where they might have fallen a little bit short, and see if it's the right stuff we're going after in terms of what those individuals are going after. Because those defenders in particular, they have found it difficult today. They found it difficult, and we spend a lot of time trying to make them better in possession, and that showed at times. But ultimately, they'll be judged on how they can defend. So it's getting that balance right across the board, in and out of possession, and on transition. So yeah, we've got a little bit to do.
So a tricky afternoon then down here at Carrington for Travis Binion's young side, as they're defeated to Newcastle